Hey guys, it's me, Magic the Joker from Kingdom 1628, and this is going to be a video on updates and the new commander and what it means for free-to-play players. So, first off, I'd like to say that we've been going live all this week, streaming on YouTube. We've been chaining a lot of barbarians for the supply event. It's been really nice, been getting a lot of support. If you guys enjoy my Res Kingdoms content, be sure to drop by. It's pretty fun. So the first thing that I want to cover is the trivia game mode that's going to be coming out. Assuming they're not going to be like paid resets and this is going to be completely free-to-play friendly, this is going to be a huge event for us because free-to-play players, I mean, look, we know the ins and outs of the game. If we can keep up with pay-to-play players, it's because we know a shitload. So if this is about game mechanic trivia, we're going to absolutely crush this. This is a huge win for free-to-play. Here's the Lyceum of Wisdom right here. I'm super excited. Hopefully there's like a lot of history questions in there because I personally love history. So the second event that I wanted to look at was the Card King. So for a free-to-play player, you really shouldn't be doing Card King unless you are trying to unlock a commander. So what I do is I pick the commander I want. So out of these 5, I wanted Calcal statues. So I would continue. And you click the first 2 cards because the first 2 are free, and you get 10 resets. So, click whichever 2 you want. If you get it, good. If you don't, that sucks. You reset, you try again and again. I think I got like 12 hours of speed ups from doing this, just from hitting these 2 tiles for every chance. So that's something you can do as a free-to-play player without actually doing Card King. A little tidbit that I wanted to add there. So, the reason why you guys are here, the new commander, and what does it mean for free-to-play players. On first glance, this commander is pretty goddamn good. We're looking at AoE for a direct damage factor of 1000, reduced by 15% for each enemy, but I mean, still crazy. That's great. That's exactly kind of what we're looking for. The person who this reminds me of a lot is Kusunogi, as she has the attack and defense buffs just like Kusunogi. She's got the AoE like Kusunogi, except for Kusunogi has a bleed effect that is right on par with El Cid's, and she has a skill damage taken increase. So what do I think? What do I think this can do? I think that this is probably going to be in the Ethelflad, in the Joan of Arc, open field, free-to-play buff camp. So if you're ever touching the open field in your early game free-to-play or your mid-game free-to-play, you're only looking to buff, you're not really looking to fight, because going on the open field as a free-to-play is bad, okay? It's bad. So this is probably one of the few jobs a free-to-play player can do. The only thing I don't like about it is with Ethelflad, with Joan of Arc, you know exactly when your buffs and debuffs are going to come out. But with her, it's a 10% chance, so you're just going to have to sit there and smack rather than pop an ability and back off for a bit. And that kind of frustrates me, but, I mean, that is so much extra damage taken that, my kingdom currently doesn't have Edward of Woodstock, but this hitting a garrison combined with Edward of Woodstock and Tommyrus, like 80% extra skill damage is a crazy amount. And with commanders dropping as much skill damage as they do, she's going to be very good. I personally really like the fact that she's a Peacekeeper. I know people were complaining about it, but, free-to-play doesn't get Minamoto, so we're already down a Peacekeeper. And, I mean, another AoE Peacekeeper is always good for Barbarian chaining. This is probably going to be my 4th chaining march, which is awesome. That's kind of what I want. She has 2 trees that are great, so I'm not really sweating on her not having a 3rd. Like, the archer tree is awesome, the skill tree is awesome. I'm perfectly content with her being a Peacekeeper. It's kind of sad that allies or enemies doesn't give extra experience gained, because I personally like my Peacekeepers having that for taking out barbarians, but I mean, this is fine. Buffing Soroli Crisis or whatever Ian's Ballad is going to be, cool. I don't know if anybody's actually going to be using her in Soroli Crisis. I think the general consensus is going to be you're going to have one person running it if you're running a 4-man team, but Soroli Crisis has really gone from free-to-play friendly to hard as fuck. So how much will this really affect us as free-to-play players? I'm not sure. Another thing that I want to say about her is in Ark of Osiris, in the open field you might be hitting stuff with her, and Edward of Woodstock and Tommyrus might be putting in work, but in Ark of Osiris especially, where you don't care if units are being lost, she's going to be huge. Huge for attacking obelisks, cities, any kind of garrison. It's awesome. This is an awesome debuff for that type of thing, assuming you can get the proc off. You have to, I feel like what really makes it difficult is you have to get the proc off, and then you have to hit them with the skill, right? So if you miss the timing, like you only have 3 seconds after you get this 10% chance. So you can definitely miss timings. And I think that's what's going to be difficult with her, is that it's not a guaranteed thing. The last thing I wanted to add is that the rumor is that you're not going to be able to use universal sculptures on her. She'll be like, kind of like an Ethelflad in Expedition kind of deal. And so I don't know how many sculptures they're going to end up giving us, or how often they're going to bring in Ian's Ballad or Ceroli Crisis or whatever is going to end up giving her sculptures. But I mean, until she really gets, like, considering her best and like most game altering ability is her 4th ability, and you're really going to need to get that shit to level 5, this is really going to hamstring her, right? So if we're not able to use universals or get these sculptures at like a decent pace, it's going to be kind of iffy, and she might be eclipsed by other commanders by the time you get her if you're a newer free-to-play player coming in. I hope it's not too clunky, the progression system with Kira, because she's only an epic at the end of the day. I mean, is this ability, could it be nuts? Yes. 10% chance over 3 seconds, being able to miss timings, kind of fucking iffy, but I give her the benefit of the doubt that it's probably going to be decent. But the sculptures have really got to be coming in, especially for the older free-to-play players that have tons of universals sitting around that are foaming at the mouth to try and use this here. But yeah, that's it. Those are my thoughts on the new Peacekeeper. While this video drops, I will be live for that day. So, check the date on this video before you're like, oh, he's not live. That piece of shit. But that's going to be it. This has been Magic from Kingdom 1628. I'll catch you guys later.